Hey there, pony friends, and welcome to a multicast video for the discussion of the premiere episodes. I know, it's really late getting out there. Everybody else has done theirs, but, it's hard to do collabs. I'll let my guests introduce themselves.
Hello guys, I'm MG, also known as MG Derpy Hooves. I can't wait to get started on this analysis. CMA, I'm not just a one-trick pony.
Hi, I'm PanegyricQuibbles.
And hello there, Internet. I am RomanCandles.
We were fortunate enough to see the episodes on the day they aired, but we're extremely lazy about making the video, as you can well see, considering how late it is we're putting it out. I'll say at first that I liked the episodes, but a lot of things bothered me. After watching most of the reviews that are out there and listening to many of the squeals of delight, although I think more and more of the nitpicking's been coming out, I almost feel bad for wanting to pick on things. Oh well, I shall be wearing my picky pants for this review, so be forewarned. So the show opens on Twy and her friends discussing how things have changed, and we see Twy practicing flying. I liked it, and I have nothing to discuss.
Well, May, stand back, because I do have something to pick about here. What really bugs me about this scene is that at the end of the last season, we see Twilight flying perfectly with no troubles at all. And now, all of a sudden, she can't fly. I really don't understand the writer's logic in doing this.
I agree that the continuity is a little frustrating, but I also didn't like how easily Twilight learned to fly after getting her wings. For me, the flight powers were revoked in the Equestria Girls movie, so when I see she's having trouble here, it's nothing new. My nitpick for Twilight's wings is that they're a different design than the wings of a normal Pegasi. I know she's an alicorn, but Teenage Cadence had relatively normal-looking wings, so I thought the princess wings grew in about the same time as the German Shepherd hips. This difference could maybe be because Cadence was originally a Pegasus and Twilight was originally a unicorn, but to me it feels like it's just an extra push to make Twilight seem more special.
Alright, Pan, I agree with the fact that you don't want Twilight flying right away, but it still really irks me that they would do that in the last season and not fix that.
I'd say the problem here is something many adults run into, that learning something as a child is easier than doing it as an adult, especially something that needs to be more instinctive.
If you really want an explanation here, magic.
When we move to the castle and another of Celestia's windows, I wonder if she'll ever run out of windows, or do they retire some if a more important one comes along? And the girls have a little chit-chat. My biggest complaint here is that Applejack is the one who says the elements are things keeping them connected, but we all know it's just their friendship. I say just, but it's intangible while extremely important. It's not the elements themselves. And Applejack, being the most sensible pony, should have known that.
I would have said that it's like a reference since the elements are a symbol of their friendship, but she did say directly that the elements were bonding them and not what they represented.
I agree that it was odd that Applejack was the one to bring up this idea since she's the one I usually associate with keeping them together. It might have been an attempt to get Applejack out of the background, or maybe it was meant to parallel her role in the pilot, when she was the one who really stood her ground about going with Twilight into the Everfree Forest. I love this scene for its lighting. I know shadows are difficult to make in Flash, but it really does a nice work for the atmosphere. This was also the first scene I noticed Twilight's puppet was changed subtly. She's a little taller now and her horn is a little longer. It's nice to see that the wings aren't the only physical trait that's changed now that she's an alicorn. I wonder if her design will keep changing as the seasons go on.
I also agree that the lighting in the scene was just utterly amazing, which really surprised me. But back to the Applejack situation. I think more or less that they were trying to get their point across, and that the elements did represent the friendships more than the elements in itself. But as stated directly, she does imply that, it's the elements, not representations.
So now we're past the stained glass and out to the train station. My heart reached out to Twy when her friends left. I had a close group of friends in college, and I graduated before them. So when I left, knowing they were all going to still do things together, but without me, it hurt a lot.
I agree. This part was really touching, but once again, you see those Pinkie Pie antics we all know and love.
Male pony, why you no Derpy?
The male pony should be Derpy. I guess Derpy's not completely off probation given the missed opportunity for fan service here. Or maybe that's just me.
Well, Pan, not everyone recognizes Derpy as being a male pony, and although they are leaning a little more towards the brony community, aka making Derpy talk in the first place, I actually think adding her as a male pony would be a little bit of a stretch. Getting back on topic though, and another nitpick at the animation, did anybody else notice that the boards on the track at the end of the scene were on the top of the rails? They are gonna have a bumpy ride back to Ponyville, but all in all, solid animation work as always.
When we got to see Twy and Spike together, it was cute, and seeing her with Celestia was nice. But my biggest issue is that the vine got a hold of one of the most powerful ponies in Equestria with no problem.
Well, since the plants were made by Discord for the sole purpose of capturing them and weakening the Tree of Harmony, I could assume they would capture them with absolutely no problem whatsoever.
Well, what I really love about the scene is the clearly blatant, obvious irony and foreshadowing Celestia uses by saying, "I will always be there for you when you need me, and I hope you will always be there when I need you." Great job on the writer's part.
I can't believe Twilight just dismissed Pinky's letter, saying, "It's not important." I kept expecting this note to come back, like the letters in the Season 2 premiere, but nope. Twilight just poofed it. The nice thing about this scene, though, is that it shows us Twilight is still her usual crazy, nervous self, and she still has plenty of room to mature, even after having attained godhood.
And so the next day comes, and my biggest complaint here, which I mentioned in my collaboration with Jade, was that as all the ponies are going nuts, and the guard pulls Twilight aside, it seems that some pony of authority should have been talking to Twilight. The guard has to have some kind of rank and order to it. Now, perhaps these two were higher ranking, but there's nothing to indicate that, and that's just something I, as being detail-oriented, was a little annoyed by. I mentioned before that I thought it should be a captain of the Royal Guard. I didn't realize, though, at the time, and it has been pointed out to me since, that a captain in the Royal Guard doesn't have to be the captain. It can be a captain. But still, shouldn't there be somebody who's the ranking officer in charge of the guards?
I'll admit I had some doubts about how competent Twilight would be as a princess. I mean, she's shown leadership skills before, but she's also crumpled under pressure. So here it was really nice to see her really step up and take charge. Now I feel a lot more confident in her abilities.
Or she could have just been trying to hurry and find Celestia so she didn't have to make decisions, as you see later, when she's hounded by the citizens of Canterlot.
One of the things I do like about this scene was the way that Twilight is modest. Just even through everything, she is overwhelmed, but she is still modest through it all, and she can make great decisions, even if she is scared to do so. In showing this, I believe she has the qualities of an amazing ruler with the proper upbringing and just a little more polishing of her skills.
We moved from Twy to see what's going on in Ponyville, and I don't have a lot of stuff to say about it. It's all going, it all flowed nicely and was entertaining. Oh, but as Twilight set out, I remembered as Spike secures himself to her, the belt does not go under her belly, so what did he attach to?
Spike is probably taking lessons from Pinkie Pie, so he's going to be the next one who knows that we exist.
This part was the closest I ever got to laughing. Also, Sweetie Belle can do magic.
I was very happy about that, since it's about time Sweetie showed some prowess in the magical ability that we all know that she possesses. Episode incoming.
I don't know how much of this shows her ability to use magic as it was going haywire on her at the time, but like Scoot's flying, we should see Sweetie Belle using more magic, I would hope.
This has to be one of my favorite scenes out of the first half because of just the comedy that's portrayed in this part. Just the fact of seeing Big Macintosh, the strongest out of all the apples, having trouble pulling weeds, and seeing Fluttershy acting like her usual self, like a little scaredy cat, really sells a good comedy bit between the transitions, between the build-up and the main plot of the first half.
Well, his problem seemed to be catching the vines, so while strong, he definitely isn't the fastest. And so Twy gets to Ponyville, and while I understand why they thought of Discord, I still think it would have made more sense for them to decide to talk to Zecora rather than for Discord to bring it up.
I love this scene for the return of the new season, starting off with some of the greatest character dialogue in the entire show, none given other than Discord. He has some of the best jokes and some of the best character development, and it's just an awesome character to watch. Such an amazing character.
So, Zecora has a potion that requires a spell that oddly can only be used by an alicorn, and the whole point of the potion is to give flashbacks? Twi was able to literally go back in time, albeit not that far back, when she was a unicorn. Why the potion? And I think I questioned her choice of spell in my collab with Jade, and I've since heard some headcanons about why she might have used the dark spell. Something about alicorns actually not being so much closer to the light, but perhaps to darkness, and I don't really agree with that. But maybe the writers will drop a hint as to why she used that spell, because it seems so weird for her to have chosen that one.
Can I add something? Please? I'm guessing that's a yes. Anyway, we can assume that the potion originally came from the Everfree Forest, or at least ingredients or something, so maybe the writers are trying to suggest that most of the magic in the Everfree Forest is actually dark magic. From what I can remember of the show so far, the Everfree Forest has never really been associated with dark magic, but instead is just presented as a mysterious and dangerous place. This could possibly show, although I highly doubt it, that Sombra actually came from the Everfree Forest. Or maybe he's a normal unicorn and he trained there or something. I don't know. Anyways, I just thought I'd pop that in. Bye.
My favorite part about this is seeing the origin of Nightmare Moon and the battle with Discord. It just gives more depth into the plot of what is actually happening and the events that have happened in the past.
Well, we saw the events around her becoming Nightmare Moon, the literal transformation, and her banishment, but not what caused her to go that route in the first place. That we still need to see.
Did anybody else think of Dragon Ball Z while that fight was going on? Come on, I can't be the only one. But that laser clash...
So, Celestia and Luna were already alicorns when they faced Discord. I had always thought that it was this face-off that had allowed them to ascend with the elements of harmony. I know we don't know, but I just kind of hoped they had ascended. Now they really need to explain Celestia and Luna's backstory more.
Well, we never even know when or if they ascended. For all we know, they could have just been born alicorns.
I really hoped they'd ascended too, but Faust had said in interviews that they were always meant to have been born alicorns, so I guess that might stick.
Okay, that would be a great way to kick off the season if we could have seen the ascension, but we gotta deal with what we're given, unfortunately.
So then the group heads off on another adventure. At first I was like, how the hell are they supposed to know where the tree is? But then I guess it makes sense for it to be in the Everfree. I did like the scene of them standing at the edge. It was a nice reflection of the opener. And don't be scared, girls. We can do anything together. Wait, no, we don't want you anymore, Twilight. Go away. I understand why they did this, but it's like their biggest asset is their ability to use the elements, which they can't do without Twi. Silly fillies.
Yeah, I wonder how they thought they were going to fight the big bad without Twilight. Like, if they needed the elements of harmony, they wouldn't work without her.
Magic! Oh, wait, never mind.
More or less, I believe the writers use this in a way to show that Twilight needs to make decisions for the better of her kingdom, and not just self-protection as her friends had claimed, but that her friends are looking out for her at the same time was really touching. It showed that, one, her friends still care about her, and two, that they want an outlook for the better of the kingdom as well. But it was still kind of a jerk move to kind of tell her, get out of here, we don't need you, when she's the one who holds the, most important element of harmony, magic, which makes every single other element work. I mean, what is your logic in doing that?
So Twi leaves and Discord pesters her and does all kinds of crazy stuff, and I did not even notice the Twilicane. And suddenly it is everywhere.
I wonder if Discord knew they were going to have to put the elements back. I mean, there was only one thing that could stop him, so maybe this was all part of his master plan, to tell Twilight to go back so he could get rid of the elements. But I think it's hard to assume anything about Discord. I don't know.
But he kind of taunted Twilight into going back, so maybe he has a good heart? Discord. I don't know what you're doing.
This is an amazing character development method for Discord. It just shows that he could truly be reformed, even though he was, kind of blatantly coercive, trying to infuriate Twilight, but it worked, and it motivated her to help her friends, thus showing that he does have a sense of possible true reform. Or maybe he's just a giant jerkwad.
So now we go back and see our other 5 ponies who have now found the tree, and yep, you guys sent away the pony with the most knowledge on what you're doing. Smart move, girls. And Twi, teleport, shield yourself, something! I guess if one plant caught her off guard and that spray disorientated her, that would explain it, but I was disappointed in Twilight.
I was just waiting for one of those plants to latch onto Twilight's face. They looked way too much like face huggers from Aliens not to. Come on, I know at least some of you saw that.
To me, I think that the writers did 2 things here. One, they could have just ran out of villain ideas and were like, hey, let's make the forest become alive, because no one knows about the Everfree Forest. Or they could have been like, I know what we should do. We should make the element of harmony come from this tree thing, but the forest has to overtake it to make it lose its power. So they give up the elements of harmony, and we can just show all these awesome flashbacks. Yeah, I think that's what we should go with. That could be one of the possibilities, but not very likely. But other way, it's just, personally, I think they were lazy with the whole forest coming alive thing.
So yes, they managed to save the tree, though why it was necessary for her to fly up to the tree was beyond me. Why didn't she stand with her friends so they could run defense for her with the vines to make her job easier? But I'm excited for the key things. Though it would make more sense for the girls to just retrieve the elements each time they needed them rather than the tree, which had been dying, to suddenly have so much extra power it gave them a present.
I just think that it's a bit comical that they made a full-length movie about trying to retrieve the elements of magic, only for Twilight to give it up in the very next episode.
Celestia said, your element is the only power strong enough to be able to keep the Equestria safe. Now, you're just going to give it up, back to the tree. Now, yes, the only thing to save our lives is now gone. So what are we going to do? Oh, wait a minute. There is a box. Guys, we are saved. We have a magic box that came out of a tree. I repeat, a magic box has come out of a tree. We are saved. Thank Celestia.
It's going to be a big joke on everyone if it's just like a cake or a sassy thank you note where the tree is like, thanks for stealing from me and forgetting to bring them back for eons. So I noticed that they exited the forest sans necklaces and crown. Did they just toss them aside so the forest can grow over them? That's a major waste of gold. Or perhaps since the elements created the necklaces, they disintegrated on their way back to Ponyville.
Or the animators just didn't feel like drawing them since they don't serve any purpose anymore.
Well, this part is funny because at the beginning, Discord could have just said, oh, I'm sorry, I planted some seeds ages ago, and they finally blossomed to destroy the Tree of Harmony. But it should have happened thousands of moons ago, but I guess that wasn't so. But I really like the scene because it does show, as stated earlier, Fluttershy's character development. Since the beginning of the show, it just shows that she's not that much of a wimp anymore, and how she's learned from her friendships.
So at the end, it's back in Canterlot, and Celestia is talking like it's the first summer sun celebration since the return of Luna. And after seeing a few other videos, that seems to be the general consensus. This has just been all in 1 year. What was 2.5 years in our world is 1 year for them? Okay. I guess that kind of explains why the Cutie Mark Crusaders haven't hardly aged at all, and the baby cakes haven't really gotten much bigger. If years there are much longer for them, or we've just been seeing things over a different period of time than we thought we were, I don't know. And on a different note, I don't really like Twice Spark Boom or whatever it is. It feels weird that why did she have to do something as part of that? Did they always make Cadence do something to add to the celebration? She definitely didn't do anything a quote-unquote year ago when it was in Ponyville. But, of course, we all know Cadence didn't actually exist then. That's a whole other story, but...
I thought 2 years had passed already. Because we've seen 2 autumn episodes, Fall Weather Friends and Luna Eclipsed, and 2 winter episodes, Winter Wrap-Up and Heartwarming Eve. Guess seasons are just weird.
Twilight outdoes Rainbow Dash, and Rainbow doesn't say anything about it or is not the teensiest bit jealous. Rainbow, I am ashamed.
I definitely liked the episodes, but for some reason I was wearing my picky pants when watching them, so this was the result. And I really want to know how Celestia and Luna's... And I really want to know Celestia and Luna's origins now. They were full-grown looking when they took on Discord. They had to have started somewhere sometime. And also, why the hell Celestia is bigger than Luna?
I agree, a background story, including the origin of the 2 sisters, would be definitely a solid plot to keep the show going as maybe a possible 5th season? I don't know. But what really irks me is the flying thing again. I mean, really, 1 trip to the forest and back, and you can learn your own version of a sonic rainboom. I don't think so. It just doesn't add up. You can fly, then you can't fly. You can fly, and then you can't fly anymore. And now you can fly better than Rainbow Dash. No possible way. I mean, come on. Really, what are you writers doing? Make up your mind already. Well, May, it's been a great time analyzing with you, and I really look forward to doing more reviews with you in the future. This is a great chance for me to show, like once again stated, I'm not a one-trick pony with just music.
I don't know if the new episodes are going to focus on each of the main 6 getting their own specific key, but I actually look forward to the potential that every one of the main 6 are going to get their own episode. So yay for including all of the ponies, even the background ponies like Applejack and Rarity. And incoming Applejack and Rarity are not background pony comments.
So thanks for watching, every pony, and look for more collabs with some of my esteemed guests later on. Also, I was recently on another podcast, and I'll have a link to that below if you want to check it out.
Wait a minute. Yes! We're esteemed!